can we communicate with the people through the platform? Like just send them a message like, hey, thank you for your purchasing, or is there like, should we? What do you think? Like,
That's a great question. Yeah. So we've actually talked a lot about creating more communication, but for now we don't. And the reason is if we have this, what we call a rogue buyer that's like going off the rails or like upset about something, our policy on the deal side is you need to communicate with us before you even go to the seller because we don't want
mm,
them to bother you. We don't want them to complain to your support team. Like it needs to be as stress-free as possible for you. And so they'll come to
mm,
us, they'll say, oh, this was broken, or I got the wrong product, or whatever, you know what I mean? So, and then we'll say, okay, well, we'll communicate with the seller, go ahead and reorder the product or whatever the seller decides. We'll talk with them first. And then, they can have Amazon do a bin check or they can make sure that their product packaging is better. But we facilitate the communication right now because again, we just don't want to put that stress on sellers if it's unnecessary. But it's something that we've discussed. You can do what we call blacklisting, which if there's a buyer that's giving your support trouble or has returned an item, we do not see returns very frequently because it's a big no-no in our deal marketplace. And our community knows like we're not messing around. So if they return or cancel an item, they're blacklisted.
mhm.
And on our deal site, it's like a Fort Knox. Like if you get kicked out, we know your IP, we know your hardware, we cross-reference things using a separate technology that's a very big company. And so we will kick you out and you can't get back in. You can't use a VPN, you can't go to another country and like try to get in.
Mhm.
Like you're out, right? So, and I say all that because it's really important. A lot of sellers that use this type of service, it's important that they have high quality buyers that have a high quality score. And so we want to ensure that. And then part of our service is providing the highest value to our sellers. And part of that is taking all the support on ourselves with our buyers.
But then if a refund happens, like unfortunately
Yep.
someone refunds, so do we see it in our dashboard, like an order was refunded? So if a
You
buyer
can,
refunded,
yeah,
like or returned or
yeah.
something after a while.
Yeah, if that happens, you actually can click on the dashboard and mention it was refunded, and then
Mm,
we're going to do a replacement. And again, or you could just message our team and be like, "Hey, this was returned, and we're going to eat the cost and do a replacement for
mhm,
you and
mhm.
suspend or blacklist that buyer." Again, I don't remember the last time we've gotten an email. It used to happen a lot. And when we were an agency, if you can imagine, before we had this type of technology, I mean, one of the reasons we built it was because of this reason is
Mm,
there's a whole network of buyers that are trying to abuse this type of system. And when we had just an agency, and this is what I say for anybody who uses an agency for this type of service, I'm like, it's very, very difficult to ensure these buyers are acting in your best interest for your brands because
mm,
they have a lot of different strategies and tactics they use to kind of skirt around your policies, to use, Amazon gift cards so they can return later. Like there's a lot of different strategies that they use. And we know them all because we've been doing this for, 7 years now with our agency and now our tech. But if we didn't have the technology, it would be extremely difficult to
mm.
prevent any of this. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
here.
you can just communicate with us and
Mhm.
we'll replace the product. Or there's something on your dashboard that you could click and it tells us that it was returned.